destination's unknown. Trying to find my rhythm on this winding road.
That's Sam Fowles, a Wellington-based artist who has just released his debut album titled After Dark. The record was produced by Barnaby Weir of the Black Seeds, and Sam was mentored by Warren Maxwell of Trinity Roots. So while Sam's destination may be unknown, his current location is on solid ground musically, and he's feeling pretty good about it all.
Yeah, I'm feeling great, man. It's so nice to just have it out in the world, and it's everyone else's. It's not mine anymore. It's everyone's.
Right.
So that's a great, it's a great feeling. Yeah, for sure.
How long you been
I'm
sitting on
elated.
it?
Oh, I mean, I think I probably started writing these tunes. Some of these tunes are really old, like they could be like 8 years old, 10 years old. Some like when I first started writing them.
Right.
And then they've morphed, and as my songwriting's got better, and I've played them with the other bands, some of the songs, and
Right.
they've been through so many different configurations, and I had never recorded, so like half the album was new songs and half the album was sort of old songs that I've had for a long time.
Right.
It's nice to like sort of for some of them to reach the final form after so many years,
Sure.
But also, I think we probably started producing the demos about maybe I want to say 3-4 years ago.
Okay.
And then we actually went into the studio, finished pre-production, went into the studio in December of 2021.
Oh, so yeah, it is a while ago.
And yeah. So it's been a long time. Yeah.
And you say we, is that you and Barnaby Weir?
Yes, it was me and Barnaby. Yeah.
And how did the two of you work? What kind of roles did you take on?
So it was like, I guess Barnaby was kind of like, I'd never recorded I had recorded an EP by myself before, but I kind of went in there like when I recorded that EP, I didn't know that I was producing a record,
Right,
but
yeah.
but I did it, but I was totally unaware of it. But so I guess when I took on the task, we become friends, and I just go to the Paquito songwriter night, and he'd share me tips on songs and stuff.
Right.
We become friends for some time, and I talked to him. I said, I have these songs, we have an album, and I guess I drew from his experience of making records. Like I
Sure.
didn't know how to approach the process, and so I guess it was kind of a mentor-mentee sort of a situation, and so he'd come in for we did the band with like the first day of recording was it was actually his birthday in December. It's Barney's birthday. So he flew in from New Plymouth, and we live tracked 5 of the songs off the album that day, the very first day, which they're all the bones of those 5 songs, are
Gotcha.
still on the record today. So he'd fly in for particularly the drum recordings, he'd fly in for those. And then the rest of it was done, we did remotely. So I would go away and work I was studying at Massey University at the time. So I had free access to the studio. So I basically lived in there. Security would kick me out at bloody midnight every night,
Right.
Became quite friendly with there.
I'm sure.
But yeah,
It's always good.
I spent a lot of time, just shaping them and trying things out. And then Barnaby and I would have listening sessions, and he would listen before we'd had the listening session together, but then we'd have a listening session together, and he would offer pointers and suggestions on turns to make, or maybe
Right.
changing sounds and stuff like that, and like it was always offerings, like he really let me drive the process. He was just like, but like, it's yours, man, but like this is something you could do, or maybe this is a good idea, and and like basically I just took all those pearls and just distilled them into, and put them into action, and then we'd repeat that process. So it's quite an iterative process of me experimenting, us collaborating, and sort of offering direction and thoughts and discussions, and and that kind of like just until it boiled down to we were like, it's done,
There you go. So did you have an idea of what the sound was you were after when you started, or did that develop as things went along?
I definitely had an idea, and I think that's one thing that Barnaby was great at, was I couldn't quite maybe not articulate quite well what I was going for, but he seemed to have this knack, like he knew what I was trying to do or trying to say. And so like it was in my head, but articulating it was an issue for me, I think. But but having said that, like he really helped me tease that out of me, which was like I'm super grateful for, and like that through that collaboration. I mean, like yeah, he really helped me find my sound, you know.
Right.
But it was something I'd probably been searching for a while. But definitely, I would also say through the process of going through that and doing it, it did morph into something completely different, which was like a welcome surprise. But I think
Cool.
it's like yeah, I guess aiming there kind of took us there, you know. Like
Right,
yeah,
right. Now you mentioned
yeah,
going to school. You have a master's degree, is that right?
yeah, I do,
And
yeah.
your one of your mentors, teachers is Warren Maxwell. So what did you learn
That
from him?
that is right. Oh wow. So much. It's such a big question. Um, I'd say firstly, Warren had this saying. I think this is he's a great saying. Is go deep,
Uh-huh.
go deep, go deep, kids. You know, he's got go deep, and that's what it was always in his teachings. That was his kind of his I don't know. That's it's a mantra, I suppose.
Right,
Um, um, but yeah, just like think of like all the details and like I think he really taught me to be an artist, you know,
right.
like think about like what's the song about, you know, like and then like what are all the things that you can tease out that, you know, like research that subject, you can tease out all these things, you know, like and then like that's all like all these things you can play with, you know, like the options, and then you're
Yeah.
like, okay, sweet, I can lean into that, or like how does that reflect in the sound? Like how does that manifest in the sounds of the song? And like yeah, like really going deep on the what's the kaupapa of the song, and like philosophically, how do we represent that, you know, like musically, and yeah, it's quite how yeah, what do I? Yeah, it's getting lost with it. There's so much to articulate, but yeah, nah, and he was really just yeah, and just taught me really good work hard, you know, work ethic as well. You know, like you have to work hard. These things don't come, you know,
Yep,
easily,
yeah.
and it doesn't
Okay.
come easily for anybody. You know,
Yep.
like and that was like reassuring to know, you know, like that it's
It's not just
you
you.
know we're all in the same boat, you know, like yeah, and
Gotcha.
it is a labor of love, and um but yeah, he taught me to, you know, like yeah, or say what you mean, you know,
Hmm. There you go. Okay.
and yeah, yeah,
So out of the
bro. I
10
think that
songs that
sums it
make
up.
up,
Yeah.
out of the 10 songs that make the record, what's the earliest one? What's the first one that got things started?
I would say the first song that I wrote off the album would have been Freedom.
Okay.
Freedom. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the oldest songs.
It's kind of a
But I
dance,
think the
it's
one
turned into a dance track, hasn't it?
it has, yeah, it kind of started off as a bluesy rock number, but yeah, so it's kind of yeah, it's developed, and I'm very happy with the turns that it's made, and yeah, it's very I suppose like Fat Freddy's Drop inspired, I guess. It's my little
Sure.
tip of the hat to them for sure,
Yep.
you
Yep.
know. I've
Yep.
done a lot for Wellington music, being from Wellington as well,
There you
you know.
go. Yep.
But I would say the album that really started the song that started the album as a concept would be After Dark, the title
Okay.
track.
Wandering around in the city of man. Think I'm gonna lose my dear mind. Spilling my drinks all over the ground. Feels like I'm getting lost, don't want to be found.
I was at home one night and I was sort of feeling a bit troubled, and I thought, oh, I'll just go for a walk and I'll clear my head, you know. And so I was living in town at the time, and I walked down through the city and into Waitangi Park, down by the harbour there,
Right.
and I just sat down on this kind of stoop, and I was looking. It was a beautifully clear, like starry night with the moon out, and very much like the album cover actually.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it's just where like it kind of like ties into the story, I guess. And yeah, I was just sitting there, and I don't know, just thinking about life, man, you know. And then the melody for the chorus hit me. It was like, Into the Park After Dark, you know, stumbling through my memories, into the park after the dark, reaching out for my eyes, can't see. And I was like, oh, I've got to do something about this. So I quickly rushed home, sat on the floor in my lounge, and I didn't even think I had paper. I had like bits of paper. I think they were like this big, you know, like little like notepads, and I sat there and I wrote the tune pretty much. It just fell out, you know, and
Right.
it was one of
Right.
those ones. It hasn't really changed that much either, you know, cut up a few words here and there, but you know, I think it
Yep.
was pretty much the thing. Um, and yeah, it was kind of like I guess that song's kind of about like it's just like it is about like you know like it's like feeling downtrodden and you know like things aren't going your way sometimes, but like it's like that hope, the hope, that hopefulness that we need to hold on to when
Right.
in those times, you know,
Yes.
and it's in times of struggle, it's hope that keeps us going, you know, like and hopeful that things will get better and it's brighter, and that's kind of like what the bridge represents in that song. It's like in the bridge, it's like I'm trying, you know, like and
Yeah.
it's quite I'm trying, you know, like but in the chorus is the fight, you know, it's like I'm fighting for this, you know, but in the verse is kind of like, oh, I don't feel that great, you know, like but that to me really I think sums up what these collections of songs, this collection of songs is about, you know, it's about just trying to make sense of the world, you know, like when it doesn't make sense.
Yep. Yep. And there's quite a guitar
Yeah.
solo in there. Who's playing? Is that you?
That's me. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
Nice.
how much time do you spend on your guitar playing and think about it and work on it?
Oh, quite a lot.
Yeah.
Every day, every
Yeah.
day. Yeah, I love it. It's for me. I quite often just come home and pick it up and sort of get the day out. You know, like one of my flatmates who used to live with me. He was always watch 6 o'clock news, and
Right.
he'd mute the news. I'd be playing, but
Right.
so he'd watch the news and I'd play quietly, and then he'd mute the ads. He'd mute it and just let me play. And then as he tells us, I'll pull outside of myself for a second. But he'd always say, "Oh, you'd always know what mood Sam's in when he comes home from work because he'd play it, you know."
Yep.
So like I think for me, it's kind of like first and foremost, I think it's kind of it's a way to express myself and a way to for a catharsis of sorts, you know.
Yep.
Um, and but yeah, I I listen to records and I do the more like focused practice as well, you know, and
Gotcha.
you know, licks and I really like the songs as well. Like I like learning the songs and seeing how it's put together with the lyrics and the melodies and the just learning from songs that I like and yeah, learning solos and get into a bit of theory and stuff. But yeah, I'm always trying to push myself. I really am. I like to, for me, it's just, I think there's a frustration sometimes that I can't do what like musically, artistically, what I want to do. And I
Right.
think so that just drives me forward to that, to get that freedom, you know, I guess.
Gotcha. And you
Yeah.
have a band called The Experience. Is that correct?
Yes.
Who's
Yeah.
in the band? Tell me about those guys or girls or people.
So on the record, there is quite a collective of musicians. So
Let's
the
hear it.
experience
Let's
is
hear. Yeah.
as a collective. Yeah. So how do we do it? There's I'll just do it by instruments. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So on the drums we have for Chasing Dragons we have Marcus Gertner,
Uh-huh.
a good friend of mine. Yeah, amazing drummer, amazing yeah, musician, amazing human. Yeah, so he played on Chasing Dragons. Then we had on Slipping Away, Jeremiah Saulatoga,
Uh-huh.
um, a good friend of actually a fellow band, another friend in the gallery.
Uh-huh.
He's the drummer of their band, and I was like, I thought his style would really suit that song. He's like really good at that pocket Michael Jackson kind of a
Oh, right,
style, you
right.
know, like yeah. So yeah, so Jerry played drums on that. I'm a really good friend and former bandmate from my last band, Ghost Who Walks, Dane Robinson. He plays drums on Destination Unknown, After Dark, sometimes part one and two, and yeah, that's 4 songs. Yeah, yeah, and then another flatmate, Jeremy Richardson, plays drums on Butterfly Baby,
Uh-huh.
Sitting on Top of the World, and Freedom.
Okay. That
Yeah, that rattled them all off. Yeah,
not bad.
um,
Not bad. So when you're out
yeah,
playing live
that's
with these guys,
um,
who's with you on the live show?
so no, it's actually somebody else again. So I've
There
got
you go.
Luther Hunt on the drums. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, from Tunes of Ice, so that's cool. Yeah, on the bass is Zane Hawkins for the whole record.
Okay.
Apart from Freedom, which I played the synth bass on.
All right. Gotcha. And I see you got a few videos out,
So
and they seem
oh
to
yeah.
be something that you collaborate with and work on, and there seems to be a slight concept, a story running through them. What can you tell me about that?
My butterfly, baby, fly away and come back home. Be my butterfly, baby, fly away and come back home. Fly away, yeah, so a good friend of mine, Jack Mullen, he's a young filmmaker, very talented filmmaker. And we became friends, and I've been talking to him about I guess I kind of produced it. I like to tell stories, like there's a storytelling element in my music, and I think I try and tell that in every medium possible, whether that be through the artwork or the video or so I guess we kind of like come up with I'd go do like location shoots for stuff like, say, Butterfly Baby, for example, and I'd be like, oh, this is kind of like the story for the song, and yeah, I'd be like, Jack, I've got this crazy idea, man. This is what we're gonna do. Like, and he'd be like, and he'll just turn up with his camera, and he'll take charge. So it's like it's theirs from him. So he would direct it. So it's been a really cool collaborative process throughout all of them, and it's been nice to imply some of the meanings with the songs and some of them, and like some of them, I mean, like Slipping Away with like the roller disco, it was mean like that's not really implying what the song's about, but it implies the vibe of the song, So it's like, yeah, it's like I think. Yeah, I really enjoy that aspect of it. I'm a huge fan of films, so I think like it's only natural as a musician that you lean into that medium as well. Yeah.
And maybe we can touch on Sitting on Top of the World. There's a video for that. It's a very soulful type of tune. What can you tell me about the backstory behind that?
I feel the sunshine on my face. Hey, hey, hey. Listening to the crashing waves. The sand between my toes, yeah. Worries gone as the wind blows, and it goes, yeah. Just sitting on top of the world, sitting on top of the world, yeah. It's like a love letter to myself, Like I think, like it's kind of like yeah, I struggled a bit in my past, and I mean, we always struggle, with like mental health and ups and downs of life, and and I'm definitely very guilty of being hard on myself, too hard on myself sometimes, trying to do better, and it all comes with the territory. But like sometimes you just got to remember to be compassionate, like and just be like, you're doing all good, bro. Like it's actually all right, like. Don't be so hard on yourself, and it's kind of like, I guess the mantra or the code-pop of the whole song is kind of like, when you're depressed and you got the curtains all drawn and you're inside, you don't want to go outside, but like, but I guess that it's like, man, open the door, like open up the blinds, bro. It's a beautiful day out there. Look, you go to the beach, man. Look at that nature. It's beautiful, isn't it? Like, look at it, like, and I guess that's kind of like, yeah, it's that little like edging, the encouragement to the person in the tune to, like, man, like, it's actually all good. Even when it feels like it's not, it is.
If you enjoyed this episode of the 13th Floor's Music Talk series, please be sure to subscribe to the website or to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram and wherever you find your podcasts. There's a whole lot more to discover.